Hello, I'm WP Swazo, and I'm here to talk to you about supply and demand maps. The first thing I want to discuss is notation. Here we have plus S. I'll try to make my S's not look like fives. Plus S means more supply. Minus QD, and I use big and small Qs interchangeably. For marketplace, it should be big Qs, but I'll use small and big Qs interchangeably. Minus QD means less quantity demanded. Here's my name, and let's begin by labeling this graph. It'd be a good idea to freeze this video now and copy the graph. That makes it easier to follow along. We have one demand curve right here. We'll call it the demand curve. We have two supply curves. I'll call this higher one supply little, and this one here supply big. And how can you see that? Well, if you bid $15, supply little has the ability to deliver 500 units, whereas supply big delivers 750. So this is why supply big is supply big. Our starting point is right here at $12.50, $12.50, 375 units. That equilibrium is between supply little and demand. All right, and serves as our starting point. So the first thing we'll do is, how about less quantity demanded? How do we get these people here to use less of this product? We get them to use less of this product, less than 375. They'll use 250 if we raise the price to 250. If we raise the price to 15. All right. So we have 250Q, 250Q, 250Q at $15. 250Q at $15. Great. All right, that's less quantity demanded. So here, sliding northwesterly on a demand curve is less quantity demanded. The rationing effect of price. How about doing the opposite? How about enticing people to depend more on this product, to use more of it? More quantity demanded. Well, right now, they're using 375. We could get them to use 500 units if we drop the price down to $10. This is more quantity demanded. More quantity demanded is heading southeasterly on the same demand curve. All right, let's talk about less quantity supplied. Less quantity supplied. So we are right here, and we want less of this product. This could be oil or plastic straws, whatever. We want less of it. So if we bid less, bid $10 instead of $12.50, we will get 250 rather than 75. So 250Q because $10 was bid. So let me repeat that in case you didn't hear me. We are here to have less quantity supplied, which means moving here is less price paid, less quantity delivered. 250Q at $10 a piece. What about more quantity supplied? Having this same industry as it stands now to suddenly deliver more product to the marketplace. That could be done if we're willing to pay a higher price. So we get more than 375 units, we get 500 units. If we're willing to pay a higher price, higher than $12.50, we now pay $15. This is more quantity supplied, sliding northeasterly on a same supply curve. More quantity supplied. Compare that to more supply. Heck, I'll write it out. So compare more quantity supplied to more supply. What is more supply here? We'll look at this second equilibrium. $10 for 500 units. 500 units for $10 a piece is the equilibrium between demand and the bigger supply curve. But it also is an example of more supply. We were having 375 units. Now we have 500 units. We were paying $12.50. Now we're paying $10. So we get more inventory and pay a smaller price that is certainly more supply. Now, you could mistake this other point on the bigger supply curve for maybe being more quantity supplied. Why? Because departing our starting point, we're getting more because we're paying more. Imagine a supply curve going through both points, say like that. That would be the case. But it is not the case because we have a supply and demand map right before us. If you write that down, this point right here, 750Q, at $15 a piece, that could be mistaken as more quantity supply, but I say this to you, before $15 got us 500Q. $15 got us 500Q. Now it's getting us 750. So something had to change other than price. Both of these are examples of more supply. More supply is when the supply curve expands to the right. More demand is when the demand curve moves to the right. Let us talk about market constraints. Let's talk about $15. Government mandates a $15 price ceiling. A $15 price ceiling would do nothing because a ceiling means we must stay below it, and all parties can equilibrate and stay below 15, so that would be nothing. How about a $15 price floor? If we say to these shoppers, you'll never see this product for less than $15, the most they'll ever want is $250. If we say to Supply Big, hey, we promise you at least $15, they will make 750 units. Quantity supplied sub big. So now we have a surplus of 500. This is reminiscent of the Soviet system making snow boots when everybody wants sneakers. They have a surplus there. Okay. I know the board is getting crowded. How about say $10? Let's mandate a $10 price. Well, a $10 floor would do nothing. A $10 floor would do nothing because all parties can equilibrate at 10 or higher. A $10 floor would do nothing. Okay. Looking at what we had before, a $15 floor did something because that was too high, but a $10 floor, a low floor does nothing. A low floor is not a problem, just as a high ceiling is not a problem. But what about a $10 ceiling? Let's mark that as such, a $10 ceiling. If we say to families, you'll have to pay at least, you'll never have to pay more. You'll never have to pay more than $10. It'll be cheaper or $10 at the most. They're certainly going to want 500 and maybe more in some other times. If we say to quantity supplied sub little, we're mandating a $10 price and it cannot be above it because that $10 is the ceiling. All they will deliver is 250. So now we have 500 being demanded and 250 being supplied. We have a 250 shortage. We have a 250 shortage right there. Please stop the video at any time to get the information you need. And the last thing we'll do will be a quota. Let's talk about a quota. Let's say a 250 quota. A quota of 250. Quota of 250. Well, since there's only one demand curve, I begin with that. Quota of 250 will crank up ration and price to 15. So price is 15. If we ask the big supply curve, what is the cost to deliver only 250 units? They say, well, that's a small quantity. We could do so for 5. We have a product that's selling for 15 and costs 5 to make. We have a $10 rent at stake per unit. A $10 rent at stake per unit. It's this vertical distance right there. How much will rents total? Well, if you collect 10 to 250, we'll have total rents 2,500. Total rents of 2,500. That 2,500 figure is right here. It's this rectangle right here. To whom does that go? Government could seize it as a tax. Suppliers could keep that money as a rent, as extra profits, or we could make people muster the $15 and later on rebate them the difference. Many programs have been done by many governments throughout history. So this is a supply and demand map. I hope this has enhanced your understanding of this. Thank you for watching, and do look for my other videos.